Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, welcome to another comic episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's reading about punks with me tonight?
Hey, everybody, it's Kenneth Sanity, and I've forgotten my one sole purpose in life.
I'm Joe Butler, and I'm sure I'm glad my grandmama knitted me this red sweater. I hope nothing bad happens to me while I walk down the street in Gotham City.
So we are here to talk about a bad idea, Mike. Because that's essentially what it was. A bad idea. We are talking about Robin War, which is a comic book crossover from 2015 December to January 2016.
Now, let's be completely fair. I don't think this is entirely your fault. Because I seem to remember when we recorded the Court of Owls episode, me talking about how I wanted to do this one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Remember this. But hey, good news. It's been recorded. I could find out if I wanted to. But
it's not that important. But either way, I accept blame for this too, because there is a character in this book that was also in Court of Owls, and I wanted to see what was next for that little bastard.
Oh, I vaguely think I remember you mentioning this.
Yep. And I owned this long before you said, hey, let's record this. So I'm pretty sure I was leading the charge on this. And I'm sorry.
I feel less bad then, because I actually got excited because when we did Gotham Knights, oh God, at the point you're hearing this has been a couple months, and I got all excited about Court of Owls, like, oh, where is there more Court of Owls stuff? And all that came up was Batman, Court of Owls, and then this came up as some of their appearances.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, I want to read more Court of Owls because I was all excited because of Gotham Knights, and so, I wanted more.
How do you feel about that, bud?
Not great. So I read this twice because I had time. I will say the cover is cool. The cover of the book where it says Robin War has the owl's mask with a little bit of blood on it. It is a cool cover.
It is, I think, at least.
So, Joel, what is your initial thought?
I also like the idea of having a Robin War. I have many thoughts about this, both good and bad. One of them is, man, I really need to read the new 52 run of these comics, because I forget that some of the stuff in here is fucking dog shit, banana shoes, wackadoo.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
This probably would have been better to read had I actually been aware of, what the Batman canon is at the time. I read a bunch of Batman New 52, but I don't remember a lot of it. I think I stopped around this point when Bruce Wayne loses his memory, forgets he's Batman, and Gordon becomes Batman, and that was where I stopped, because it wasn't Batman. So
I never started.
If you want to do a cover of that, that's also fine, because that all in itself is kind of fucking weird, because, Batman loses his memory, but no one knows so Bruce loses his memory, no one knows where Batman goes. So out of all people, GCPD fucking has Batman tryouts, and the only person who's good enough for those Batman tryouts is Commissioner Gordon, who already is a 50-year-old man.
See,
not in this, I don't think.
He don't look like it.
You don't look like, but he should be.
Yeah.
He'll become commissioner at 30.
It's comics. They play with their canon.
And then we have the other goofy thing of what is it? Dick Grayson faked his death, and they say his face has changed, but he still looks like Dick Grayson to me. And now he's a spy.
Yeah.
Yep. Now he works for Spiral, and
he doesn't wear a suit anymore. He doesn't wear the Nightwing outfit. He just is Grayson. That I remembered very vaguely of people talking about it. God, do I hate it in this comic. I really hate it. Really bothers me.
Yeah, there's a lot that was, let's say, interesting about this comic.
That is fair. I'm also drinking beer, so just to warn the listener, because I don't know where I'm going to go when I drink these 2 16 ounces of beer. So I can talk about this comic.
Warning to listeners, so am I.
You can probably hold your liquor better than I can. So, so this issue, the first issue, which was a special, which is, I think it was called Robin War Part 1 and the Robin War Part 2, which take place in between the rest of, because all, any miniseries or any crossover series, you have issues that are part of that are in the different books, because why not?
Yeah, we should, before we start with the actual issue, I want to give a quick rundown of what happened up to this point.
Oh, please. I have no idea. So this is all
Because I was confused because I hadn't read any of the other shit. So I had to read a lot. So Batman and Joker died in Endgame. Quote unquote, died. Batman, when he got revived, essentially remade Bruce's brain from scratch. He has no memory of his past life. So, like Mike said, they have a tryout. And Jim Gordon is the new Batman. Cool. Fine. Later, or no, before that, Damian Wayne dies. He's killed by Talia, and then Talia dies.
What the fuck?
And,
I remember that.
Yep. And then both of their bodies are stolen from the grave. Now, Batman doesn't go looking for them for a long time. There's a lot of shit that happens in between Damian coming back to life and going on his redemption quest. But at the same time, there was also a series called We Are Robin, in which everybody's like, oh shit, Robin's dead. We got to step up to the streets.
So this is a sequel to that.
It's not really a sequel because like it happened and then Damian Wayne's redemption quest happened and then they just kind of merged together. Like this is the actual Robin War. This isn't the lead up to the Robin War. And everything that I've read about Damian Wayne's quest for redemption is stupid.
I can't believe that. Not Damian.
Well, like it's like his own man bat that he flies around on.
What?
And like Al Ghul Island blows up and there's somebody from the Al Ghul's family past that's swearing vengeance and it is ridiculous.
Look, I halfway believe that because it's Ra's al Ghul. I mean, he tries to have a kid like every decade, I think. So it's not surprising there's another little bastard running around trying to get revenge because he wasn't the chosen son.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
But all of that happens, Damian hears about the kids being Robin and he comes back to Gotham and that's where we are.
Okay. I had no idea any of that.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
I just saw Court of Owls and I'm like, all right, miniseries. Okay, we'll read this. But yeah, it's very, very connected.
Yeah. If you haven't read anything up to this point, do the research before you read this or afterwards, something, because you will be confused. You will not know what's going on and you will not enjoy it.
I was confused. I did enjoy parts of this book. So I will say the way it starts, I thought was weird. Like you just have this random kid the first page you see is a kid holding a gun and says, I am Robin. That's the first page of this, where he knocked out some thug with a bottle and a cop pulls a gun on him. And then the thug gets up and then everybody gets shot.
Like it happens.
Because the kid shoots the thug and the cop after the thug takes down the cop. And so then he's wanted for murder because he killed the cop, which is the catalyst of all this shit happening in some weird-ass city council woman starting the Robin laws, and anybody who wears a Robin outfit is arrested.
All right, so Councilwoman Noctua.
Yes.
Which, come on, she's bad.
So I have two questions. One, when you see her eating, like, I'm assuming that's supposed to be a small chicken or Cornish hen.
Yeah.
For me, it made me think of it's a robin. I know it's not, but that's what it made me think of. She's eating a robin.
I'm pretty sure visually that's what they were going for. Like this woman eats small birds.
And one of the guys in the panel reminded me of someone, unfortunately. A better looking version of someone in real life. But yes.
Oh.
That's what I thought of.
The blonde one?
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
It's just weird because it's like it just shows these panels of police brutality. And in the panel next to it shows her eating. While these kids are just getting arrested from cops and these kids are bleeding and all beat up. Because when she institutes the Robin laws, essentially what it is anybody who wears a Robin outfit can be arrested and also beat the shit out of.
Well, it's not even just that. It's also, if you have an R on your chest or on your clothes, if you wear red at all, you're going to get stopped and talked to.
It's weird.
It's funny because I think it's New 52, and it's always a bunch of the line down of like the DC comics of how linear do the comics know about themselves. Because I know at one point there's a comic where in Gotham there's like a superhero restaurant where they sell like Batman burgers and like they sell fries and like you can jokerize the fries and they pour like green salt on them.
Oh,
and all kinds of other like silly shit. And it's like, so it kind of falls in the whole thing of like, do they actually make just like is can you walk into Target still and buy like a Robin hoodie in Gotham?
Maybe not
But-
after this, but I would say
Probably
yes.
not for this, but
but I mean, it looks like, these don't look necessarily homemade. They look like real clothes with,
Yeah.
consumer backing behind them. So,
like the kid also has posters in his room too.
yeah. So,
It makes sense that they would sell it. I mean, especially in a case like this where it's not like they, not like even come after and go, excuse me, copyright. I mean, so yeah, they'd sell it. No question. Well, what do you think Batman's going to be like? Bruce Wayne's like, excuse me, you are selling Batman merchandise. I happen to be Batman. I did not give you permission. Like, that's not happening. I don't see Superman flying down going, excuse me, Target, you can't sell my shirt. So
I want that now. Thank you.
I think Spider-Man does something like that, but it's like 30 times goofier.
Which is fair.
It's just the comparison of like the way the kids are being beat up and she's just eating and cleaning her face. Like it's odd. I'm like, it does a good job of really showing you what, like, she's a shitty ass person.
Yeah. Like the rich feasting while the poor bleed out and suffer.
Oh, this comic is very much about that.
Yeah.
And about cops bad. A lot of that too.
Any Court of Owls thing is going to be about that.
So I was really thrown for a loop when it first introduces Duke.
Oh, you mean Mary Sue?
Well, the art is different.
No.
Immediately, the art is different. And I was like, what the fuck? Why did the art change on me? It isn't just me, right?
No, the art is very inconsistent.
The art changes, and I could tell that because someone who helped draw this does the one thing that I very specifically hate to do when you do the Red Hood mask, which is you add his disgusting lips to it. That's why in some places of this comic you see his mask have lips, and some places you don't, because they always have someone different working on these comics, especially because it's, I think, a big build-up thing for the series.
Yeah, but why do you change art mid-issue? That I don't understand. I get it if the issues have different art. This, like, when you have Duke talking to this random girl, when Duke gets pulled over because he has red shoes on and a red hoodie, and then after it shows this whole scene of him being a Mary Sue and jumping out of the car and escaping, the art changes again. Like, I don't understand, why are we having flip-flopping art in the same book? Like, shouldn't the art be consistent in one book?
Should be.
I mean, I get it for crossovers. I get it when different artists has different runs, like, you're doing a crossover book. But why isn't the same issue the art changing? That really bothered me, because I was like, am I reading something wrong? Like, is this trade not right? Like, is there stuff here I was just very confused at first. I didn't like it. This is where the book hurt me.
No, like the Duke that goes into the cop car and the Duke who's falling out off the bridge after he jumps, they look like two completely different people.
Yeah, it's different art. And then when you see him climb out of the water, it's again different art. Jumps back and forth. I don't understand. Like, would you have different artists doing each page in the same book?
Yes. It's probably a goofy thing where they had it done where that's kind of a spread opening, I guess, or probably what could also be considered as poster material, probably. I don't know.
That's possible.
It rubbed me the wrong way, and it made me uncomfortable at first when I first read this. Like, I thought I screwed up somewhere, like I was missing something because the art changed on me.
Oh, it keeps happening too, though, because you have the whole, like, it shifts back to that, and then it goes to where she's talking to like a bunch of men in shadows, and then it's also an art change when Jason Todd is talking to that dude in the bar, and then the art changes again after that when he leaves the bar and it shows a bunch of the Robins in the basement.
Oh, hey, Jason Todd's got lips.
Yeah, I didn't notice that until you said it, but why are there lips on the mask?
Not have fucking lips on the goddamn mask.
Because Red Hood is luscious, baby.
I really don't like that. I guess the whole idea is that Duke, when he get arrested, he told the other Robins or people he worked with that they're all going to go meet at this gym. So all these random kids and people are all dressing up as Robins while it's illegal and are meeting at a gym. And he just looked funny as hell. Yeah,
they look like great value Robins, all of them.
Yeah. And then we get introduced to Ken's favorite character.
Yep, it's Damian Wayne.
A.K.A. Robin, grandson of Ra's al Ghul, son of Batman, has been away, returned angry, is what it says in the page.
Yeah.
I did not realize it left out, was killed and came back.
He's been away, Mike.
That's not important right now, even though I feel like it should be, because I don't even think this whole comic brings it up.
No,
it doesn't bring up once that he died, which would make sense. if he went into the Lazarus pit, now he's angrier and more demented, or why he betrays them later in this book. Like, that would make sense.
See, here's the thing, though. He did a redemption quest right before this.
Yeah, he doesn't redeem himself in this comic.
He redeemed himself in the redemption book, and I'm going to say something that may shock you. I am on Damian Wayne's side. He did nothing wrong.
What do you
Where's
mean?
the real Ken? What you do with the real Ken?
Like, I hate spoiled little bastard Damian Wayne, but this is a different Damian Wayne.
Okay.
And
I mean, this
talk
Damian
about it.
Wayne beats the shit out of everybody the moment he gets in the gym.
Yes, he does. And why does he do that?
Because they're Robins and he doesn't believe them.
He doesn't believe that they're suited to be Robin. He's trying to teach them that you're not ready for this. Stop doing this. He's trying to save their lives. Badly. But he is trying.
Yeah, pretty badly. And again, the art keeps changing.
Yeah.
And then you get introduced to the Batman blimp for some reason. And this is when you find out.
This is a bat blimp.
Yes. It's a bad blimp.
And it says, James Gordon, former Marine, former cop, former commissioner, current Batman. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I remembered, oh yeah, he's Batman now.
He's Batman because somebody had to be.
This is why I stopped reading New 52. Because I was reading that Batman arc, and then I got to when Gordon became Batman, and I put it down and never went back. And this was like, God, over 6 years ago.
And like, this doesn't feel like James Gordon. Or at least it doesn't feel like the James Gordon we know. Like, I had to double check. I was like, is this Gordon's crazy son, James Jr.? Because he looks younger. He has a mohawk for reasons.
Where's the mustache?
Yeah. Where's the mustache? Where's the long coat? I don't know who the fuck this is, but it ain't Jim Gordon.
It's so weird. Like, I don't understand. One, why does he have a mohawk? Why are the cops Batman, and why does this mech have bunny ears?
So I can answer like 3 of those questions.
All right,
Maybe
the
I can
bunny
answer
ears
2 of
one.
those questions. I can't answer the bunny ear thing, except for the fact that they're trying to make a Batman mech suit, which is stupid. I don't know why he looks like that. I remember it's just a weird thing where like the mayor was just like, we haven't seen Batman in like 3 months. We need a Batman. So they hold Batman tryouts, and they believe it'd be easier to make Batman an actual cop. So they end up having tryouts through GCPD, even in this kind of proves that Gotham PD is really, really fucked up. That whole little segment that I read about it is actually pretty cool, and even weirder because I remember reading that, and I specifically remember that they show which during like the montage of Gordon becoming Batman and him, like they have like hand-to-hand combat training stuff, and him proving that he's better than everyone. That everyone wore Batman cowls, and you knew which one was Jim because he was the only one with a mustache. So why they get rid of the mustache? Fuck if I know.
Okay.
It clashed with the suit.
And even like when he lands in the gym and then starts he starts fighting Damian Wayne, and he kind of would have beat him until Damian Wayne decides to electrocute Batman.
Because he's Damian Wayne. He's Robin.
Yeah, and then this is what another one of my is. I'm going to keep complaining about this. From the time that he electrocutes him, one other page where you get introduced to Tim Drake and in this for the first time, the art changes again. I thought I was reading a different issue. It's too much. It's too much art changing in page to page.
Even weirder, I think Duke's jacket changes like every other chapter as well because they're not sure which art style is consistent.
Yeah.
It's just really weird to me how much it changes, and it really threw me off. Like I thought I was missing pages. Like I thought my trade was screwed up because I wasn't reading an official trade. So I was like, wait, there's something wrong here? Because the art keeps changing. And then you also get introduced to Dick Grayson, a.k.a. Spiral Agent 37.
First Robin, then Nightwing, now Spy.
And he's just punching some random guy, and then he jumps out the window and yells, I am Robin!
So I have another weird question for both of you. Is this whenever, like, because I remember fans were pissed whenever they made Dick Grayson the Spy. Is this also when he kind of gets, like, mind controlled and he tells everyone to start calling him Rick or, like, Richard?
I think that's later.
Isn't it later? Okay.
I know what you're talking about because one of the podcasts I listened to for years now, Common Conspiracy, made a comment on how he's no longer Dick, he's Rick.
Yeah.
And they were making a joke about it or something.
Well, that's stupid.
or Rick or whatever
He's
his name was. Like, yeah, they stopped. DC wanted to get rid of Dick. They didn't want Dick in their comics anymore. It didn't last. But I think that's later. I think it's later when they try to change it and it was no longer Dick.
Dick returned full force.
And this is when you have, like, you're right. When you see Duke here talking to the kids from the beginning, Duke's wearing a different jacket. Because that R was not on the jacket earlier.
No, this is his new jacket because he's not out wandering the streets anymore. Now he's being Robin.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know.
Art's different again.
Art is different again.
It's really bothering me in this issue. And then I did appreciate when you have the stupid kid, like Duke's like, I'll protect you. And the kid gets stabbed by the owls, by Talons, and left for dead.
Yeah, that was dope.
I appreciate that, and this is also when, in the last couple pages, you just see where you see a bunch of the Court of Owls talking, and they're talking about the Gray Sun of Gotham is here. And in Court of Owls, I do remember that Dick Grayson was supposed to become a Talon.
Yep. Now, the Gray Sun of Gotham. Who could that be?
No idea.
Is it Tim? I think it's Tim.
It's got to be Jason Todd.
Batman's gray. Maybe it's Bruce.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's one part that I do like just a little bit earlier because the kid's explaining why he became Robin, and I that is part of the comic I do kind of like, and part of the reason that I kind of like this comic. Really weird, fucked up personal thing about myself is I always loved Batman as a kid too, and I didn't have parents growing up, and so when I watched Batman, I was always like, sometimes kids like to think they become Batman. I thought the same thing too as a kid, where if I got older, I don't become Batman, I could become a Robin, and that's why Robin was always part of my favorite part of the Batman comic. So I like the idea of these other kids also wanting to become Robin because, like, you have this kid story telling Duke how did he say it was Nightwing or did he say it was Robin jumped into his window and saved him as like a baby or something?
It's Robin, the first one.
Yeah. So I do think that was a really cute detail. I kind of wish they had gone into more detail with that too, with like, instead of having all this other goofy shit running around, you have a couple of the other kids should have shared stories that explain why they wanted to be Robin. Instead, we get whatever the next part is with Joker's weird daughter, who I never knew existed until now.
I don't consider this even a crossover to Robin War. I consider this book just garbage, this issue.
So this is basically following Arsenal and Dula Dent, Joker's daughter, around and just, I don't know, fighting a circus gang?
Yeah. That supposedly is capturing kids for Professor Pig, I think.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Is she wearing... That's Dula Dent, and also is she wearing the Joker's face?
Yep. Yeah, she found it underground in a puddle.
Oh.
I wish you were lying, but I know you're not.
I'm not.
I know he's not either. God damn it. That's fucking weird and gross.
It's just, it was just a really dumb issue that made no sense.
I don't know what you're talking about. The lava monsters make perfect sense.
They don't even
get... What was up with the fucking lava monsters?
I'm assuming this continues in whatever is going on in this series, because you have this stupid issue and then nothing's ever referenced again with it. You know how they do it when they have a crossover, like, oh, hey, we got an issue coming out this month. We better just, throw it in there and, do something to tie in to sell more comics. But it's really, like, the other two feel a little bit like they work. This one does not. It's just, I hated it.
I mean, fair enough. But this was Red Hood Arsenal number 7.
Yeah.
So, like, it's a completely different run that, well, I don't know. They're in it.
I was just like, this doesn't need to be a part of this trade. Like, this shouldn't have been. Just leave it alone. Like, the Gotham Academy one makes sense. This one should have just been left alone and not, like, let them do whatever they were doing at the time.
I think this is more about Jason Todd seeing something in somebody.
Oh.
And, like, wanting to be like, hey, maybe they're not all evil. Maybe they can be saved.
Oh, okay.
So.
I'll take it. I forgot Joker had a daughter, too.
Well, it's not really Joker's daughter.
Oh.
Like, that's the weird thing.
Who is it then?
Two-Face's daughter? You said it's Dula Dent.
Yeah, that's the name. I don't remember, like, what her actual deal is.
At the end of the day, whatever you say is probably going to be wrong, because there's probably 4 different versions of why she's the Joker's daughter at the end of the day.
Because Joker actually does have a daughter in current comics. No.
Well, that's current comics. This is 52, so...
Yeah, no, I don't.
52 is
not current.
Well, 52 is the last arc. The newer arc is much, much stupider, trust me.
Why do we read comics again?
Funny enough, that's been an ongoing thing as well, because DC and Marvel Comics are like, why can't we get people to read our comics anymore? And why is manga becoming like so much more popular? And it's like someone came out and was like, well, yeah, because like give an example with this. If I were to read Robin Wars, I'd have to read like 5 other fucking comics to understand what's going on. If Mike give an example, one of y'all watch the live action One Piece and go, oh, that was really good. I should read the manga. Where do I start? You see, you go down to your local bookstore and buy One Piece #1, and then you go from there.
Yeah, it's one storyline. That's it. Nice and easy. But no, there's like 75 different Batman comics running at any given time. Each one of them has different stuff going on in them. And there's like 17,000 different Earths in DC's things. Unless there's a fucking crisis. Like,
would you say this crisis happens amongst infinite Earths?
I would say the crisis is us reading it.
I won't disagree, unfortunately. I will not disagree. So the next issue that ties in, I do like this cover where it shows all the Robins wearing Court of Owls masks. I think that's a cool cover.
That's a cool cover.
It is a cool cover.
And this issue starts off kind of cool where you just have a bunch of different kids and they're all saying, I am Robin. I am Robin. I thought this was cool. And the art is good in this issue. And it hopefully doesn't change constantly.
The art is good in this issue. Like, Duke Thomas actually looks like a real person and not like a propaganda picture from, like, the olden times.
And no lips on Red Hood's mask when you see it in here.
Hooray!
Yes.
The whole idea is that they bring all the Robins into some underground tunnel to start training them. And it shows Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, Red Hood, all working with even Damian Wayne, all working with different Robins of these kids trying to train them to get them ready to be Robins. And then it shows a bunch of different dialogue of the Robins talking. And it was actually a good issue. Like, I got a kick out of the fact that Red Hood asked some guy to steal a wheel off a car. And it reminded me of with Jason Todd's first thing. I think it's in the Batman cartoon where he steals the tires off the Batmobile?
Well, it was a comic book, too.
Okay. Like, that's what it made me think of. And I really appreciated that. Like, I was getting into this issue. Like, after that first issue kind of rubbed me the wrong way and the Arsenal thing I thought was stupid, I was getting into this. Like, I like this idea where Dick Grayson sets up the different Robins. Each Robin takes along one of the kids to go do a small mission. One, go into the police station and do something, I don't know, hack into something I think they were going to do.
Well, it's interesting. Like, something we kind of glossed over is during the training, each of the Robins is doing their own thing.
Yes.
And they each say that Batman told them being a Robin can be summarized in one word. Tim says it's investigation. Red Hood says it's confidence. Damian says it's suffering. And
Dick doesn't give an answer till later.
Yeah, that's right. But, like, it's interesting that these are all just facets of everybody working, like their experiences, what they value most. Of course, Damien's a suffering little emo bitch, but just because I like him doesn't mean he's a good character.
I just thought it was a cool part, like to set that Dick gives these people all different jobs, and then the part where Damien's the first one to figure out that it's all a trap when Batman busts through the wall and grabs him.
You know what's upsetting about that Batman suit?
What?
It's got police lights on it. I think it's one of like the 2 things I never want to see in my entire fucking life.
It also goes completely against Batman because Batman's a vigilante.
It's like all the thin blue line flags with Punisher skulls on them.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, like putting a police lights on Batman, that feels wrong.
It really
is wrong.
And they all get captured by the cops. And then Nightwing is on this top of a gargoyle with Duke and then just abandons Duke and jumps off the gargoyle.
Yeah, because Dick was really living up to his name. And he was basically feeding information to the cop.
Yep.
So that he could control the arrests, so he could keep everybody safe. And then this is where Dick gives his answer. Being a Robin is about one thing, family.
And I take care of my family. As he jumps off and leaves Duke to get arrested.
Yep, nice guy.
And you see in the last panel, you see is an owl somewhere watching him and says, good, just as we taught you. Take care of your family, Nightwing. Always take care of your family.
I'll tell him that.
And then this brings us to another one of the crossover ones. This one is in Gotham Academy. This was okay.
I like the art style.
At least it's consistent throughout the whole issue.
Well, it's good for what I think a kid's comic would be.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably what the art style is for the Gotham Academy book, so it didn't bother me because this is a spin-off. It makes perfect sense that it's a different art, but it's consistent through the whole issue.
Yeah, it's more cartoony, and I like it.
So the girl with silver hair, she really reminded me of the girl from Gotham Season 2. I know it's probably not it, but that's who she reminded me of. I think it's Season 2. Whoever the girl's hitting on Bruce Wayne, that's evil.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what her relationship is in this comic, or I feel like she's somehow related to something to do with the owls, because the Talons don't hurt her, because they find a zombie Talon at one point in this. But this is an issue that if you read it, it's fine. If you didn't read it, you're not missing anything. It's just there.
I think they say her name at some point.
Yeah, it's
they do, but I forget.
Silver something or another.
I mean, it's an okay issue. You get introduced to the one of the girls that was in the first Robin War Part 1 that was talking to Duke on the phone, that's now at Gotham Academy because she got kicked out of her school. I mean, there's some little interesting parts, like the fact that they find this old school and there's a Talon buried underneath all these years ago.
Yeah. What was up with this zombie?
I don't know. It isn't really explained very well. For some reason, because electricity was that the professor was using woke up a zombie that was buried underground. It does lead to eventually when the Robin go there and then go underground through those tunnels. But again, like many crossover, it just doesn't really fit in the timing.
Her name is Olive Silverlock.
Yes. No idea who she is.
Me either.
But it was fine. Like, it was it felt more necessary than the other book. So I was like, this is fine. It wasn't my favorite, but it was fine. It didn't upset me that it existed. And then that brings us to Robin War Part 3. This really confused me because the issue starts off with Dick Grayson beating up Batman. And I was like, wait, Batman's back? Because it's Jim Gordon, but he's not in the blue suit. He's in an actual Batman suit without a cape.
Yeah, he wears it underneath the armor because the armor chafes. And
it just really threw me off in this first page. I'm like, wait, why is he fighting Batman? It took me a bit to realize, oh yeah, Jim Gordon is Batman. Not that long, but it took me a bit, like a page.
That is your police issued bat suit with no cape, and because Commissioner Gordon does not have the training Batman does, they give him a gun that shoots electrified batarangs that taser the ever-loving shit out of people.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
that he had a gun.
That's why I was confused, because I'm a little bit familiar with it, and I swear, like in the comic, they never have, like whenever it's the Batman comics, which is Jim, they never have him in the suit. And I remember them making a completely different comic with him in the suit, and to where I remember there's a part where he's wearing the suit, and then the Joker shows up, and the Joker has his own mech suit, and it's like 5 times the size. So they have a mech suit fight, which is also incredibly fucking stupid.
You know, you are convincing me to want to read Batman 252, by the way. Not because it sounds great, but because it sounds awful.
I want to know what happens.
I do too, Ashley. I was reading Batman Rebirth at one point. That was really good, Ashley, though.
The reason why I wanted to read it, because during Bruce Wayne not knowing who he is, he meets a villain, and the villain looks like Slender Man, and he has like a big sunflower on his face, and apparently he like gives people seeds, and they get like, what's it called in DC, meta-human?
I got to what you're talking about, but I never finished that stuff either. That's kind of where I fell off.
Yeah, I did too, especially because, like I said, it's one thing where I was like, oh, this is really cool. I should go read this. And I went to my local comic book store, and I went, hello, one Batman comic, please. And they went, cool, that'll be $100. And I went, no, thank you. And I went home.
That's what DC Unlimited is for. Or other ways, or DC, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah. Who even knows anymore?
After Batman gets beat up, and then it says 1 hour earlier, and it shows Jim Gordon, Batman, and Harvey Dent, or not Harvey. Is it Harvey Dent or just Harvey? What am I saying?
Harvey Bullock.
I blame the beer for me to make that dumb of a comment. I blame the beer. And this is when you get introduced to the, what do they call it? The cage, or they have a name for it?
It's called the cage.
Okay.
Because that's what you put birds in, Mike. Get it?
Yeah. So the cops had the idea, or, well, not their idea, but all the kids are in floating cages with explosive barrels around them for some reason.
Yes.
And fire extinguishers in the same room. So
yeah, you know.
And then you also see one of the Robins that was brought in has a black eye because the cops beat the shit out of a kid. I was like, yeah, this book came out too early. Had to come out in 2020. It might have sold really good.
Oh.
So, and then your buddy Damian Wayne is gonna be an asshole again because he has a little like explosive bat thing hidden in his mask.
Yep.
Or
And
something.
he's gonna make an exit.
And then you also get then it goes back in time again. Then it shows Jim Gordon complaining to the councilwoman. What is her name? Noctua, and bitching about how the kids shouldn't be in cages. Like they don't deserve this. Like why are we doing this? And she's like, well, they broke the law, so we put them in cages.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Yeah, cops are not good in this comic at all.
To be fair, the cops are just following orders.
Yes. Okay.
I'm not defending them. I'm joking.
No, I know. You're not wrong. So if I could do that Falcon meme, he's out of line, but he's right.
Oh,
The only good thing that came out of that show.
How dare you?
I've only seen it once. I haven't seen it since it aired, and I don't remember it very well.
I like 90% of that show.
I don't
was
remember
great.
it. I just remember I wasn't happy with it when it came out. But I've been meaning to rewatch and cover for the show for about over a year now. So for however long it's been out, I've been meaning to do it. It might even be 2 years, to be honest with you.
Anyway.
So, and then Damian Wayne, the asshole, ends up throwing the freaking bomb batarang, and then it gets fire extinguished out, so nothing happens. Well, nothing. What he didn't want doesn't happen, but instead they then start taking the people out of the cages to strip them, essentially, and take all their equipment.
Yep. Which is exactly what Damian wanted.
That was his whole plan?
Yep. He wanted them to get them out of the cage, and so that they could do something. Because in the cages, there's nothing they can do.
And this is when they take Tim Drake and Jason Todd out of the cage first. I think the same time where when it cuts back, you have Batman and Dick Grayson decide to work together.
Yep.
And he tells them where they are or something.
And they got Dick Grayson looking like, I don't know, something. Looks like Superman.
He does.
He's got like this big smile jumping off a building with Batman behind him, and Batman looking all stupid.
And we glossed over the fact that Jim Gordon looks like an absolute freak with his like half mohawk and no mustache.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
That's why understand. I thought it was James Jr. Like, it doesn't look like Jim Gordon. # not my commissioner.
Really?
# not my commissioner.
It really should just have been like, Gordon Jr. or something. Like, it would have made more sense.
Gordon Jr. is insane. Like, he's a psychopath of the highest order.
Oh, he's in the
one
comics?
of the most dangerous. Yeah.
I thought I was just making something up, or you were making something up.
No, Gordon Jr. is insane.
Yeah, I've read that too.
Like, he is literally a murderer.
Oh, okay. That would have worked.
He's awesome, though.
And the last page of this issue is you see one of the Court of Owls is now in the room, and it has a bunch of talons behind him. He says, "For Gotham," and that's where it ends.
Yeah. Cover for the next one.
That art is awful.
Oh my god, you have Tim Drake and Jason Todd beating the hell out of each other while falling Court of Owl masks are all around them. And it looks like they literally both punched each other in the face at that exact moment. And we're just like, oh, like it's a cartoon thing.
It looked like a cartoon. So bad. The thing is, like, I remember seeing this issue in comic book stores because I was in the time this would have came out in 2016. I was going to stores, and I remember going to a store and seeing this random comic on the wall, going like, "That looks stupid." I wasn't wrong.
You should have listened to yourself.
Yeah, I listened to you. I think apparently, and Gotham Knights got me all excited for more Court of Owls. I'm not excited anymore. See, I was just in the mood for rich people to be the villain. I just kind of like that for some reason. I like the idea of these really rich people being really evil and terrible. Like, I don't know why. It's like that fantasy idea,
Oh, yeah, fantasy, absolutely. 100%.
And then, yes.
We're continuing, but they keep retconning Flying Grayson's outfit, and it keeps pissing me off.
You see, I don't remember it, so, like, they have it in here, and I don't remember it being any different, where it just shows, like, the thing when Dick Grayson was an acrobat for some reason.
I like the Batman Robin Joe Schumacher where the Flying Grayson suit became the Robin suit kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
In this it looks like his spy outfit is also the Flying Grayson suit, but he also wore the Robin glove, which is both pretty cool, but also out of all the things you could take from the Flying Grayson suit, why the fuck would you make it his spy suit?
Because it's just stupid right now. I'm assuming him being a secret agent can't be entertaining comic book.
Oh, they got rid of it fast, right, Ken?
He's speechless.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Like my mic's been cutting in and out weirdly. But yeah, no, didn't read any of the Spiral stuff. You know why? I don't care. All I read from New 52 was Court of Owls, and I read Death of the Family, and that was it. Now I'm reading this.
Okay.
Boo.
My condolences. Death in the Family is good though. We actually covered that before you were on the show, unfortunately.
Yep. But yeah, this
There's some like you have Batman and Grace or Dick working together, and they go to they go to the councilwoman's house, and then they start like breaking in. I do like how he makes out about things hide in plain sight, and like he finds the map on the table, and Dick Grayson sees a random owl and realizes like what's going on.
well, it's a
thought that
bunch
was
of
cool.
random owls.
Oh yeah, there's a lot more than one.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them. So
that was
they're
cool.
like, oh wait, she can't possibly like owls as a decoration. This is a plot, methinks.
I mean, it is cool where Batman then goes to the jail and then Dick Grayson goes off, which you don't find out till later where he's headed.
Yeah.
I mean, the stuff with the prison is cool. Like I didn't realize it was Damian Wayne did that on purpose so they would get them out of the cages. And then they're like, when they have Tim Drake and Red Hood fight to the death, and the Talons are all like, yay, cheering. Like it's really weird. They're like, oh yeah, if you guys don't fight, we'll start executing prisoners.
Yeah, so they don't have a choice. They have to fight. And you can tell that Red Hood's happy because he's smiling with his lips that are on the mask.
I don't fucking understand how that happened. It's the same problem I had in Gotham Knights where I think they make his fucking mask like fucking felt sometimes, and it's fucking stupid.
Well, to be fair, in Gotham Knights, he keeps changing suits all the time, so.
I don't know what's more terrifying, Jason Todd smiling through his mask or them adding photorealistic eyes to Damian Wayne's Robin mask.
I don't understand that either because that doesn't last.
No, but
it lasts all.
But his eyes are so big because he's emotionally distressed. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
Maybe.
I mean, the fight was cool. The fact that they figure out to work together, then they throw Tim Drake up in the air, and then they're able to get a hold of the cages and start breaking cages. Like, I thought that was cool. But they have a plan because they have to do something, and they start beating the shit out of owls and start releasing all the kids to fight Talons, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense because I feel like the kids would be murdered by Talon in a heartbeat. But
no, they were all beaten up by Damian Wayne, so they're better fighters than they were.
Talons gave Batman a run for his money.
Yep.
I don't think these are the same. I don't think these are the same Talons. That's why I think these are actual people.
Oh, the ones with machine guns are actual people. Those are just random idiots that conscripted. The Talons, there are Talons here. Maybe they get beat up by the actual Robins. I can buy that.
I think there's only one Talon here.
Okay, and it isn't until the end of the issue when you get the video game where they change their equipment. Now you have stronger enemies.
Yeah, now there's Talons with swords.
Aren't they? They're called something else too in this comic, but I forget what they're called.
I call them bullshit.
Yes, but they have a name like Super Talons or something. Like they have an actual name.
They're the elite Talons.
Okay, still stupid.
Yeah, those are the ones. Those are the ones that are dangerous.
Yeah, oh god.
Should we talk about the next cover?
Yeah.
The next cover has a giant elite Talon standing on a pedestal, and Damian Wayne in his Robin suit is also on the pedestal.
And there's a bolt of lightning in the background, and I actually like this cover.
It's kind of cool. It's just Damian Wayne's on it, so it's
If you look at this cover and then backtrack a little bit, that's what the zombie was wearing, right? In the Academy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the zombie was supposed to be an elite Talon, because the elite Talons are underneath the school, which is where I think they're headed after this. Like after the Robins are all escaping and fighting the Talons. Okay, the kids are getting killed by Talons. Okay, that makes sense. These elite Talons are killing them, and the Robins are helping take them down. I'm okay with that. They're not
killing them. They're just beating the shit out of them.
I mean, I feel like they're killing them. I feel like some of those kids aren't coming back up from that. I'm pretty sure.
No, that's the whole thing about being a Robin. You always rise like bread.
I think it's more of you die, but hey, we'll go with it.
Oh, whatever.
And then it shows Gotham City Hall, and she looks completely different. The councilwoman in this art doesn't look like the same character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where she's like, "Give me Jim Gordon." And then I was also wondering how the hell Dick Grayson got into the labyrinth of the owls, where he's fighting Talons, and he's like, take me to your leader, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know where it is?
You idiot. All you got to do is ask. It's fine. He's waiting for you. We'll take you to him. You didn't have to do all this.
Then you have a few panels of all the Robins escaping and go to the Gotham Academy, and then they go underground because that one from the Gotham Academy told them that there's the talent that came up from underground. This was a weird thing. Like I didn't understand. This looks very organic and computerized at the same time. Technology, like where all the talent are inside coffins.
Mm-hmm.
It's very strange.
Yeah, it is weird.
But you get to see Mech Batman be cool and shoot missiles out of his shoulders for some reason.
Yeah, because missiles. That's nothing says more Batman than missiles, let me tell you.
Hey, just like in Arkham Knight, when you hit them with the car, they're okay. They're just shocked. They're not dead. No. Just like this. He's not killing them.
I was gonna say, you think when he flies into people, they get lightly tasered away?
Yeah.
Yes.
When you hit that guy in the car going 80 miles an hour, he's fine. As he flies away in Arkham Knight, he's fine. Or when you break every bone in his body and leave him somewhere, he's fine. Yeah, he'll be all right. You know, when you drop him in the poison mist in Arkham Asylum, he's fine too. Yeah, he'll get back up.
You're fine. They're unconscious.
Everybody's fine. So Batman comes through and starts wrecking shit like he does.
It's kind of cool in this. I did like, this is the one time where I was like, okay, the mech is cool in this.
Yeah, and, you know, Duke gets captured by an elite, but Rico drives a piece of rebar through its wrist. That was kind of cool. I did like that.
Painful that must be. If you were,
well, they're talents. They don't feel pain.
They don't, but I did. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of being punctured. Like, bothers me.
So, who's this weird purple man that Dick is talking to?
Well,
the whole reason why Ken suggested this book 2-3 years ago that I forgot about.
Yep. This is Lincoln March, who we last saw. Well, we on the podcast last saw at the end of Court of Owls because he thought he was Batman or Bruce Wayne's brother.
What?
Yeah. Listeners, go back to our Court of Owls episode for more information about Lincoln March.
Comic 33 that came out. We released that episode November 30th, 2021.
Wow.
God.
It's been over 2 years since we last saw Lincoln March on Games My Mom Found, and let me tell you, he is not aged well.
Why is he purple?
I do like, well, he's dead, technically, so.
Yeah, he got really messed up at the end of Court of Owls, and, like, he had, like, weird chemicals flowing through his veins, and, like, he looks pretty similar to how he did at the end of Court of Owls, honestly.
It's fair. I'm okay with him looking weird like this. Like, that was fine. I think it's fitting for. I don't remember a whole lot of what happened to him. I just remember him being there. So
I'm just glad to see Lincoln March again.
This was cool. I like this where he runs into Lincoln March and he's just talking with him, and Lincoln's like, "We want you to join us." And he also like spills his tea right in Dick's face too. I thought that was funny also.
Wine or something. It looks a little burny.
Yeah, it blinds him. Then you see like smoke coming from it.
Yeah. So like I don't know what that is. And I love that he's just like, I'm sure you have questions, but fuck you. We don't need you.
We got someone better.
Our plan's going to be just fine.
And then and he's like, we have our new gray son, and we like him very much. And the last panel or page you see is Damian Wayne in the Robin outfit with a Court of Owls mask. And I just thought of Ken when I read this the first time. I'm like, Ken's going to love this.
Actually, Ken does love this.
Oh, I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I thought Ken be bitching.
Ken was on board.
Oh.
Ken, like I said at the beginning of the episode, Damian Wayne did nothing wrong in this series of comics.
I thought you were being sarcastic.
Nope. I was being 100% serious.
If I had a nickel for every time Ken liked Damian Wayne, I'd have one nickel, and I can't believe I have a nickel. I blame you, Joe, for me making that joke now all the time in the show when I can.
I'll be a shirt made one day along the 2-gun shirt. It's okay.
I really should make shirts for this podcast. I don't have an artist, though, that I'm friends with. Or I am, but not that are on the show that like I did when I first started the show. And then this brings us to a crossover that really doesn't need to happen.
Oh,
the
Teen Titans one. Happen. It needs to happen.
This was the best of the three. It made me want to read Teen Titans, kind of.
Who are two of these Teen Titans, by the way? Because I have no idea who two of them are.
All I know is Beast Boy and Raven that looks nothing like Raven. That's it.
And then you have Brick Lad and Tall Girl. Like, I don't fucking know their names, man.
I don't. And you have somebody else in a pool that are part of the Teen Titans too, or something. No idea who the hell they are. Like, I was just like, what are we like? It's just And plus the stuff that happens here isn't even correct because like it shows the Robin trying to escape. I get the whole point of this issue is the Teen Titans fight Mr. Pig.
You put some respect on his name, Michael. It's Professor.
See, I don't know anything
Pig.
about him other than he was an Arkham Knight, but God, is he just fucking creepy in this.
I love Professor Pig so much as a character.
Like, I've never seen him in any comic that I've read, because I haven't read enough comics, and I was really surprised when all of a sudden they run into Professor Pig, the Teen Titans do, and they get their ass beat.
Professor Pig's the one who took off Joker's face.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking weird.
Also,
where I guess, yes.
I think he's in Gotham at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got that far, though.
Yeah, he is.
I never got through season 2.
I'm coming around on Gotham, man. I'm
That's
starting to dig
surprising,
it.
by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole idea with this issue is that Professor Pig was paid by somebody to drain Beast Boy's blood. He puts it in some random woman who then becomes a monster, and then they beat the shit out. And then Professor Pig runs away, and you find out that Professor Pig is working with someone that looks like he belongs in Darkseid. Like, it looks like Steppenwolf. I'm assuming it's not, but it looks like Steppenwolf to me. I have no idea what it is. So, yeah. It's just a random issue. I was just like, this has nothing to do with what's happening.
Well, there was a little bit of a interlude between when they were getting to Gotham Academy and when they arrived there.
It just felt weird. Felt really weird to me.
It was, but I was glad to see Professor Pig.
I did appreciate that just because I haven't seen him in anything before, really. He's very brand new to me. So I was like, that was okay in that aspect of it.
And Ken says Professor Pig for the Batman too.
Oh, God. Oh, how cool would that be? Oh, shit, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would work well in that universe.
Yeah, it would.
We're getting the next Batman movie, the Batman movie, I think 2025. We're not getting it 2024.
No, we're not. But, oh, man, like, the Penguin show's not going to come out first, and I'm excited for that. But, man, Professor P, damn.
It was cool. It was cool that it was in here. I just don't like, I'd rather just have, like, the main series. I don't really care for all the side stuff as much.
Yeah, but hey, at least we're finishing up now.
Yeah, and then we get to the last issue. This is kind of a cool cover with the Talons in the top left and then Robins in the bottom right. I mean, not the Robins we know, but just kids that are Robins in this.
The Robins from We Are Robin.
Oh, which I have not read. I never will.
Right.
Okay. Because I'm good after this. But that makes more sense why you have like this kid sitting, the guy just says, "I'm not Robin." And it just shows this big guy getting yelled at by Damian Wayne.
Yep. So he's just going to go home and play Arkham Knight on his PS4.
That is a PlayStation controller. So, and Robin is on the screen of that TV, by the way, that he's playing as.
I'm smart.
All this art is awful. So, what shows the kid was in the prison and now he's at home saying, "I'm not Robin, I'm not Robin." And then it cuts back.
He's had his spirit broken.
Damian Wayne's an asshole. That's why. I'll have a drink of beer to that.
Look, you can't be fat in a superhero unless you have superpowers. Because there's a quote in some Spider-Man comic where he becomes fat, and it's like, you can't be fat when you're a superhero Spider-Man. He's like, I still have super strength, you asshole. Just because I have a gut doesn't mean I can't lift a car over my head.
Man, that's some bullshit. I want to make a fat superhero that's not, the Blob.
Hey, that's a great card, Marvel Snap, by the way.
Okay.
He really is. They just put him in the game. He's great. I use him a lot. At the time of this recording, I do. And then in this issue, you have Damian Wayne with the Talons, and they confront the Robins, and he's like, "I did this to save you."
And Red Hood has lips again.
And they end up fighting the Talons fight the Robins, and then you see Dick Grayson wherever he is with Lincoln March, and he sees the TV screen where Damian Wayne is the Court of Owl.
Yeah.
And it shows Damian Wayne went to the labyrinth and then agreed to become an owl, I guess, to end the war or something.
Yeah, like the elite Talons were going to be woken up, and they're basically the berserkers of the Talons. The other Talons are all assassins. They're very deadly, meant to kill one person. The elite Talons are meant to just destroy everything in their path.
All I'm gathering from this is that apparently the Court of Owls labyrinth is fucking easy to get through because both Dick and Damian got through it in 5 minutes.
It wasn't easy for Batman.
Well, that's because Batman told them all about it before he lost his memory, apparently.
Because, like, you remember it in Gotham Knights, Joe. That wasn't an easy experience for whoever you take down there. I mean, they are not. I remember that, like, I think I took Robin down there, and he was not okay afterwards. He brings it up multiple times. He's like, you guys didn't have to go through the shit I went through. Like, it's a bad place. Who would have guessed, right? Except in Gotham Knight, there's a bunch of bones down there and dead bodies and stuff. It's kind of pretty cool.
Like in the Court of Owls.
Yes. I will keep praising Gotham Knights, even if other people don't like it. I will continuously praise that game.
Lincoln March looks better in this issue, too. He looks like a person who's just got some skin problems.
Every so often, they decide that they should do a little bit of, better drawing, I guess.
But the larger gentleman from the beginning of the episode, his art has changed again. And now the other Robins are communicating, and they're like, we got to do stuff. And he's like, shut up. The cops will handle it. We're not Robins.
I get it. Damian Wayne broke his spirit. Fucking Damian Wayne.
So Damian Wayne is destroying everybody. Took down Todd. He took down Tim Drake. He's just destroying everybody who came with, except for Mary Sue.
Duke.
Like, okay, what is Duke Thomas's deal? Like,
he's Steve Rogers right here. Didn't you see where he says, I ain't done. One more. He can go all day.
Yep. But like, okay, he figures out that Robin is Damian Wayne and Bruce Wayne is Batman. And he knows that the first Robin is Dick Grayson. And like, he figured all of this out on his own. And he's beating everybody in combat. And he saves the day by making Damian think about what he's done. Like, get the fuck out of here, man.
I think they were getting Duke read. Did Duke have his own comic too at one point?
Yes.
I'm sure he did.
Okay.
Oh, if y'all don't know, I'm probably gonna make Ken super pissed off right now. So in the comics, from what I remember, Duke Thomas is the Signal, where he has that yellow outfit on, and he's also a metahuman, and he can like go in and out of like the shadows and the light. But I think they established that he ends up becoming like opposite of Batman, where he goes out during the day while Batman goes out during the night.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I got.
If it makes you feel worse, in the current comic run, he has like a stand persona that he summons that's made of pure electricity, and he uses that to fight bad guys.
Yeah, you didn't make it better.
I am so confused, but whatever.
DC Comics.
And I guess this is when Lincoln March is trying to convince Nightwing to join them again, and he like has a mask for him or something.
Yeah, like they want Grayson because he is the Gray Sun. Get it? Ha ha ha. It's his name.
He also chose the name Nightwing, which is flying over the sky at night, just like an owl.
Yes. Don't you see? You're meant to be with us.
And then for some reason, in one of these other panels, Duke has nunchucks like he's Michelangelo for some reason. And he's fighting Talons and Robin and yeah. Oh, all these people are getting killed, by the way. Like, I know it doesn't look like it, but they're getting killed by those Talons. I don't care what the comic says. They're getting murdered.
But it's a good thing that Duke is better than Damian Wayne because he gets Damian Wayne to change his mind.
Oh, yeah, when he says, I'm not Robin, you are. And that's what does it, I think.
Yep. And that's the same time that Dick has to make a choice, and the video game kid puts on his Robin mask.
Okay, this is
time to go.
He attacks an elite Talon and takes him down.
Well, he like falls on him.
But still.
So like, but then Damian comes to his rescue without the owl mask, and he thanks the kid, and Duke saves the day. Get out of here.
So Duke's in a relationship.
Batman shows up and starts helping fight Talons. It's just weird.
And, you know, then after the fight's over, everybody confronts Dick.
Yeah, and they're in the Batcave, and yeah, Dick's talking, I did it for you guys, your family, or whatever the hell he's saying here.
I did think Damian Wayne has probably the best line here. Punch in the face, Robin, and driven into the ground, Robin, are right. Why would we ever do that?
I do like that.
Like, that was a Dick thing, and I dig it.
Just more stupid shit with Duke, where Duke's at some gravestone, and...
Well, that's not some gravestone. That's the dude that was shanked by the Talon.
Oh, which is also a Court of Owl, by the way. It was all set up
Wait.
by the owls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he's actually an owl working for the owls, and they kill him to cover up their tracks. So, yeah.
The robber from the liquor store was a Talon.
Was the kid? The kid was too, right?
No.
Oh, okay, I was wrong.
No, the kid wasn't, but the robber was, and the robber set it up to all culminate in the Robin War. This was all a Court of Owls plan in the long run.
Yes.
And the best part is, none of this mattered.
That is fair.
Because this is all a plot line for the hit comic Grayson. So you can continue to find out what happens. Because I don't know about you guys. I don't know a lot about Batman lore. But I could have sworn the Court of Owls only exists in goddamn Gotham. So whenever the teleprompters, Skype calls show up from Beijing and other fucking city-states, I was like, what the fuck?
Hey, I like this.
Well, that's because the Court of Owls exists in Gotham. But now Grayson, the Grey Sun, has joined the Parliament of Owls.
Oh. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Doesn't it? Can't you believe it that throughout the entire world there would be a bunch of rich assholes that are all evil? I mean, I can believe it.
Yes.
Yeah, but
yes,
they all wear owl masks? Come on.
Yeah, no, make them all birds. Like, make one owls, make one something other stupid, like sparrows or something.
Yeah, like indigenous birds to that area. Like the Court of Jackdaws, or the Court of Seagulls, the Court of Albatrosses.
You know, I don't think this kept going.
Well, they reset, right? Like Rebirth?
Yeah,
Rebirth is not too long after this, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because this is... So Grayson Volume 4 is Grayson 13 through 16 and Robin War 1 and 2, and then Grayson 17 through 20, and then you have Nightwing Rebirth number 1, which is the last volume. So September, it wasn't very long before this came out that they cut it and went to Rebirth. Because, like, when you see the whole Parliament of Owls and then Dick Grayson puts on the mask and becomes an owl, like, it had my interest, but I don't think it ever gets resolved because they reboot.
I'm okay with it.
Me too.
I'm
curious, but yeah. And that's Robin War.
There was a Robin War.
It was a comic, and I read it twice.
Like, Dick Grayson essentially just made everything that happened before this not mean a goddamn thing by picking up the owl mask.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, it
makes me upset because it doesn't go anywhere. Like, you should have just wrapped up the series and not like, oh, we're going to get ready for the next series. When I Googled Parliament of Owls, let's see, Parliament of Owls DC, nothing comes up, really. Just Court of Owls.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think, like, the reception for Grayson was bad. No one liked any of the spy stuff. No one liked any of it. No one liked the idea of him being changed to Rick. They mentioned it in the comic at one point, because I remember it bringing up, they kind of also changed Dick Grayson's face, so like all the Robins wouldn't look similar. And I think that apparently also pissed off a bunch of people too. So the whole spy thing was just complete like bullshit. And you saying that they ended after like there's like 2 more chapters and then there's a Nightwing Rebirth completely makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't very long that they switched it.
I wouldn't be surprised if like that ends where like this whole thing's a VR like simulation and it's just a test for Nightwing to become Batman or something.
Yeah.
I want to punch that now. Thank you. Like, I am so agitated by the possibility that might actually be the thing that I'm furious. I'm fuming. I'm upset.
I just feel like that ending just kind of just kicks it in the ass when it doesn't need to, in a bad way. Like, it makes it all meaningless. But
hey,
again,
were you invested in this story at all? Guess what? Fuck you. It don't matter.
I mean, I was just, after Gotham Knights, I was really riding high with the Court of Owls. And that's why this got suggested, too. I was really riding high. Gotham Knights has a better Court of Owls story than this was. So
yeah, it does.
Look, I'll just go back and read Court of Owls storyline if I want Court of Owls, honestly.
You need to play Gotham Knights. You just got to suck it up and deal with the beginning and don't play as Red Hood and get better.
Okay, no. I'll probably go back to it at some point, but it's not a need to do right now.
Probably better. If you have access to Spider-Man 2, you have a better game to play. So
I do have access to Spider-Man 2.
Play that instead. That's a much better game. So, unlike Joe, I think when we did Gotham Knights, you just got done beating Spider-Man 2, didn't you? And then had to play Gotham Knights.
Yeah, I got done being Spider-Man, and I played Gotham Knights, and I'm like, oh, this feels awful. I don't want to keep doing this.
No, I'm one of the few people that really love Gotham Knights, and I don't know why it grabbed me, but I think it helped that I hadn't played an open world game in years. So I think that was that new, so it helped too. So once you play Spider-Man 2 and you play a great game, it's going to be hard for you to go back to Gotham Knights. A mediocre game. But hey, it's got Batgirl in it. It's a Batgirl simulator. So it was for me. I like Batgirl a lot in that game. And then I ended up liking Nightwing a lot. Even Robin, Tim Drake Robin was fun in that game.
Yeah. Well, all right.
Red Hood's bad. Red Hood is the worst character in that game in the beginning until you get farther when he gets more abilities and he gets actually good. Isn't that right, Joe? Is that how you felt too?
Yeah. Do y'all want to hear something fucking atrocious?
Sure, why not?
Why not?
So I looked up Grayson 16, and the cover is very much Dick Grayson riding on like a snowboard or skis going down a hill. And I'm like, does it continue the story? Nope. There is no mention of the story. It takes place where there's something called Code Word Swordfish, where Dick Grayson is taking out other agents of Spiral to figure out what's going on with the company. So
by the
this
way,
doesn't even continue.
007 parody, by the way.
Yeah, so the story doesn't even continue in the Dick Grayson comic. They just completely dropped it.
That's awful.
What a bummer.
That's just stupid as hell.
Just
But
bums me out.
I think it just has to do with like I said, the whole spy Grayson thing was awful and no one liked it. So
Then
Yeah.
why it lasted 20 issues? That's longer than DC normally let things go.
they were really pushing it. That's why.
Okay.
So before we wrap up, apparently a good chunk of this story was written by Tom King.
Yeah.
Tom King wrote War of Jokes and Riddles. Go read War of Jokes and Riddles. Don't read this.
After you already listened to us bitched about it for an hour. Tom King's a really good writer.
Yeah. What happened?
DC wants you to write something super specific.
Yeah, that's probably essentially what it was. You're just like, here, we want this.
I mean, that's fair, I guess, but
I also like Zack Snyder's Batman run for the most part. I haven't finished it, but what I read, and that was decent. Just like, all right, let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. Joe, what about you?
Put this in the stack. I really wouldn't put this on the shelf because I had an okay time with it. I like the theme of it though. I'd love to actually see an adaptation of Robin War where there are actual kids running around wanting to be Robin, because it reminds me of that really cool part during like the Dark Knight Returns where Batman gets like a bunch of like gang members as an old man and then he makes them like his next like little army. I would have preferred to see something like that as opposed to whatever the fuck this is. But it also wasn't a bad read. It's got some pretty cool moments, pretty cool Red Hood moments, pretty cool other people moments, and I think Duke Thomas is an alright character. I wish they would just kind of establish who he is, but that's probably not going to happen for another 5 years because just like as I said, they gave him a persona stand in the new comics, kind of like how they're giving Miles Morales a sword in the current Spider-Man run. So,
What?
who knows?
Miles has a sword.
Yeah, he's got a sword. He summons a sword. He summons an electricity sword, and apparently it has a one-hit kill. And he calls it it's like a religious sword. He calls it like the sword of all knowing or some shit like that.
I mean, nothing says Spider-Man like guy with a sword. All right. Comics. All right, I'll go next. I'm going to put this in the stack also. I didn't mind besides the one, there were a couple issues, I did mostly enjoyed it. I had fun reading it, and I'm glad I read it because it's been on my mind to read for so long. So, will I ever read it again? Hell no, but I read it twice. That's enough. What about you, Ken?
box, fuck it, I'm sad. Move on.
But hey, look at the bright side. There was no Joker in this.
Yeah, that's true. At least it was something different, something new. But at what cost, man?
A comic that went nowheres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't really have any point to it. Like,
Nope.
You told the story and then you made it not matter at the end of the story. Like, why would you do that? Why?
I'd rather have a comic like this too, where you could tell like they wrote it and then thought it was a bad idea, especially because they retconned it, as opposed to some other thing where it's like, oh yeah, Dick Grayson, did you know you're actually like the child of the leader of the Court of Owls and you were adopted by the Graysons? That's why, that's why we refer to you as the Gray Son, and that's why you're important. And then they end up trying to like completely change Dick Grayson's backstory and just make it like completely worse.
I think they got rid of that, and we'll probably never go back to him being a secret agent because it didn't work.
Yep.
Looks like it has to be like Jane Bond ripoff.
Oh, yeah.
It's James Bond ripoff.
All right. If you enjoyed this episode, there's over 550 other episodes of this podcast. We've done a ton of Batman stuff. which you probably are into if you listen to us talk about Robin War, you probably like Batman, I'm assuming. So go to Podbean, type in Batman, you'll find a bunch of content. We do all sorts of different episodes. We do all sorts of comic episodes too, movies, TV shows, video games, whatever people convince me to talk about. So check out our giant catalog. If you want to support the show, as little as $1, you can vote in our Patreon poll. You will see a link in the show notes for that. Please join our Discord. You see a link in the show notes for that too. And I want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Has Fear. You can follow her on TikTok. Definitely go support her. She's on TikTok, Twitch, Instagram now. So go check her out. Also, I'm going to give a shout out to my buddy Bill Tuggard, his own podcast, The Gamer Looks at 40. Definitely go support him. You'll hear him a lot in the show and the MCU movie episodes. And check out Nomads of Fantasy also. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok, Roll Videos, and YouTube audio only. I think that's everything I need to say, so we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
So long.
Yeah.